In this video, we are going to talk about why you shouldn't feel like a burden as a fearful avoidant. I am Pauline and I am so happy you are here because this feeling like a burden can be something you're not even really quite aware of, but a lot of fearful avoidants have this, and it can even intensify a bit when you start researching the fearful avoidant attachment style. You find all these things that you might be doing that you maybe weren't conscious of, and now you see them all laid out in front of you, and it might be a bit confrontational. And I know I thought at points, why in heaven's name is my boyfriend, now husband, still staying with me? Um, so this was brought up in a YouTube comment. How do we deal with feeling like a burden? And the first thing I want you to know, which is so important, you don't know what you are giving just by being yourself. I know you feel like you are just your flaws, you are just your behavior, you are just the things you are doing to your partner. You're not. You are way more than that. And when you are not paying attention, when you are just being yourself, you are giving so much. You are so valuable as a person. But these things you are not conscious of because they come so naturally. And there are a lot. So even if you don't see them, if you are not conscious of them, they are there. You are valuable. You are giving things to people that you are not aware of. I know that when I was in a crash state of my fearful avoidant attachment style, that was, I think, for 6 years, and I felt like I was a burden to everybody. And afterwards, I heard from friends uh, that mirrored back things that I said in that time that helped them or gave them an insight or that make them think about things in whatever way. And I wish I would have known that when I was in the crash state. Maybe they've said it and I just couldn't really accept it. But now I can see I have always been valuable. I was always worthy, as are you right now. It doesn't matter how worthless you feel, how shitty you feel, how chaotic all of this seems, how confused you are still worthy and still valuable, and you are giving way more than you think. You already have so many gifts inside of you that you are already sharing with the world. And you healing, which you should in the first place do for yourself and your own happiness, your healing will also make it easier for you to share those gifts that you are already possessing so naturally. So, this is the first very important part, that you are already, as you are right now, without healing, are giving so much more than you think just by being yourself. The second thing that is very important to know is that what you feel isn't what they feel. So when you are in that state of feeling like a burden to your partner, you are struggling with your own emotions and with your own thoughts. And it is hell in a way. It's so hard. It's so exhausting to have these thoughts constantly and to have these feelings and trying to suppress them and fix them constantly. But what you feel isn't what they feel. And I think we kind of get that confused sometimes. You feel so bad that you cannot fathom that your partner is happy with you. And they could actually be quite happy in their lives and with themselves, and are maybe able to regulate their own emotions because they are securely attached. And so, whatever you are feeling, that doesn't mean that they are feeling that or that they even really take that on. I remember I still talk to Aryan, my now husband, about that time, obviously. Sometimes to just get his view on things or get his opinion on things you ask. And not too long ago, he said that he didn't really find that whole period with me that daunting. He said, of course, there were difficult moments, there were difficult conversations, but mostly I could just see the girl that I love struggling so much. And it didn't really affect him in the way that he took that on. And I think a lot of fearful avoidants have codependency tendencies. And so you kind of assume or believe that what you feel is also what your partner feels, and that they should take that responsibility. But then at the same time, you feel like a burden because they might feel all the negative emotions and feelings that you are having, if you're still following me. So what Aryan was saying was that he was able to be quite happy in that time, and support me because he was there for me. He was wonderful. He was empathetic. He's not. It wasn't that he didn't care. He cared a lot about me struggling so much, but he also was his own person, and he could find his own happiness and regulate his own emotions. So I felt like me being so deeply unhappy was affecting him 24/7. And even though he really did deeply care, it wasn't affecting him 24/7. And he was generally quite happy because he's just quite a happy and optimistic guy. So I think it's very important to know that even though we're struggling 24/7, that's not the case with our partners. And that can hurt also a little bit because of that codependency tendency. You feel quite alone then in that pain. And I understand that it is lonely because you are the only one that is feeling this exact pain in this exact moment. But this is why I love having this channel. I love having you here. I love having this community because you know that you are not the only one. And even though you are struggling right now in this moment with your specific feelings and emotions, we are all going through this, or we have all gone through this. And so you are not alone. But that doesn't mean that your partner feels the same way or has to feel the same way. They can be deeply caring and deeply empathetic and still be quite okay and quite happy, which is actually a very healthy thing to do. Then the third one, and this is what really helped me in the moments that I wanted to break up with Aryan, because I felt like I was too much of a burden to him. I was making his life too difficult. I think my mom actually told me this at one point. She said, well, but he's a grown up man. He makes his own choices, and his choice is to stay with you. And I think it took a while for that to really sink in. But when it did, it was so freeing. I thought I don't have to make that choice for him. Even though I'm struggling, I am doing my best, even though I feel like my best isn't good enough. I am doing my best, and he makes his own choices. And at that point, I think he already told me so many times that I was valuable and that I was giving him a lot that I couldn't see or wasn't conscious of. So um, I was okay with the fact that he made a choice to be with me. And at the same time, I can almost hear your fear brain going, oh, but this is scary also. They make their own choices so they can choose to leave. And this is something that a lot of fearful avoidants struggle with, because underneath all these doubts and all this repulsion and all this not feeling anything for your partner for a lot of fearful avoidance, there's actually the fear of abandonment underneath, and the fear of rejection, and the whole doubts and repulsion and not wanting to be with them, and wanting to break up is actually kind of like a masquerade almost for that fear of abandonment that you don't really want to feel. And so when you realize that your partner can actually make their own choices, that can be quite scary. That can be quite something you don't really want to think about and deal with, because you assume that when your partner really does make their own choices, they will leave. And this, my lovely, lovely friend, is where you are wrong. They are with you for a reason. even if you don't understand that reason, or if you don't believe that reason is valid. That doesn't matter. It's their choice, it's their reason. So you get to be you, and you get to do whatever you need and heal or not heal, whatever you want for yourself, and your partner gets to choose. And they are choosing to be with you if you are in a relationship right now. So partners always have this choice, and it's always, I think, a fear for everybody, even securely attached people. Even though they believe they are worthy of love, a lot of securely attached people are still somewhat scared that their partner will leave in whatever way. So this is also just a very human fear to have. Maybe that will help to calm your fear brain. It's like, yeah, I'm scared of that, but who isn't? Who isn't? Then, because you don't understand why your partner is with you, why they love you, it doesn't mean that they don't love you. Let me explain this. When I was in the crash state of the fearful avoidant attachment style, Arya would tell me again and again that he loved me. He was actually quite quick with saying that he loved me, and immediately that like triggered me. But he was very consistent in saying that, and because he didn't make me work for his love, I felt like what he was saying wasn't true, and it wasn't really valid and or important, because I believe that only love that you work for is valuable, which is a sign of trauma, really. um, so he kept saying that he loved me, and I just kept badgering him. How do you know? How do you know that you love me? How do you know that that feeling is true love? And I was just trying to see if I was safe, really. Um, but I just didn't understand why he loved me. I didn't understand why he stayed. I didn't understand why he didn't make me work for his love. I didn't understand why he wasn't being critical of me all the time. And after a while healing, I realized that it doesn't matter if I understand why he loves me. This is not my responsibility to understand it. Um, and the fact that I have trouble understanding it or believing it doesn't mean that it's not true. So I kind of ease myself into knowing that and accepting that when he says that he loves me, that he actually means that, even when I cannot fathom why. And now I can. Now I can really receive that, but I couldn't back then. So, what I want you to know is you are worthy of love, even when you can't accept it, and you are loved right now by someone in the world. It could be your partner, it could be anybody else, but you are loved. You don't have to work for that. You don't have to believe that you are worthy of it. It's just that when you believe you are worthy, that you get the full experience of it, that you get to really allow yourself to feel loved. But you are loved right now. You are so loved. You are so worthy, and you are so valuable. So, of course, the fearful avoidant attachment style, it is a tricky one, and it is a challenging one for partners. But knowing that and working on it is all you can do. You are taking responsibility because you are watching this channel, you are watching these videos. That is taking responsibility. You are wanting to know more, you are wanting to heal. And I want you to do that for yourself in the first place, because you are going to be with you for the rest of your life. That is an absolute 100% guarantee. And so you should be the first person to do that for. And understanding the whole fearful avoidant attachment style obviously will help, because it will help you be able to explain to yourself in the moment what is happening, but also to your partner, which helps you both being on the same side and not fighting against each other, not being pitted against each other. So understanding it definitely is a very important step in healing. And if you want to heal more, if you want to heal more thoroughly, if you want to go to the roots of this fearful avoidant attachment style and really allow yourself to feel and experience all that love that you are worthy of, then there is the online program Healed and Happy. You can find more information on that through the link in the description below. But please do that for you as an investment in your future and in your happiness, because that is what you deserve. And know that your partner is with you for a reason. And you don't have to understand that reason. You don't have to make that choice for them. They are not feeling what you are feeling, and they can actually be quite happy with you and quite in love with you, even when you are feeling all these super confusing things and negative emotions and negative feelings. You are way more valuable than you think. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that for now. I could go into a whole topic of the testing versus shame cycle that we tend to get in, but I think I'm gonna make that a different video. If you're interested in that, let me know in the comments below. It really helps me to decide what to make a video on next. Also, let me know in the comments below whether this was valuable to you, because you are valuable and I want to make valuable content for you. As always, I am so incredibly happy you are here.